Today on the Locked Up RC channel, we have the unboxing of our fourth 1/24th scale crawler. This is the Carisma MSA-1E Suzuki Jimny. Now, if you thought that was spelled Jimmy, you are not alone, but you're wrong. Let's see what's in the box. Okay, Carisma, let's see what you got for us. Suzuki Jimny JB74 V2. So we have some upgrades. Although our body is blue, they put a green sticker in the blue body square thing. That's going to make me crazy. Okay, it's not going to make me crazy. It's going to point out how crazy I am. Y'all already knew I was crazy. Getting into the box, we have instructions. Officially licensed product. It is Jimny. I wonder how many people, if you're watching this and you thought it was a Suzuki Jimny, that's okay, because I never owned a Jimny before, but not a one-to-one one, so I didn't know. I'm going to guess we got a radio in there, truck in here. Which one first? This is closer. It's kind of neat how they did the packaging there. Standard, I don't know, standard. I'd say very plasticky, but it's obvious that this is plastic. On off, let's see, we've got ATV knob. We've got some reversing up here. 1, 2, 3. I don't know what that's all about. I don't see a third channel or anything, which I definitely wouldn't expect. AA batteries go on the bottom. Nothing super crazy there. Is this... say if the radio is... I mean, I'm assuming these days that everything is, 2.4 gigahertz or something. But yes, it is. Okay. It just, this looked like, whatever. It's fine. Spare parts, maybe. A couple of little parts in here. I don't know what that is. We got a charger. Nickel metal hydride charger. Yes, nickel metal hydride only charger. AA batteries to go with the radio. That completes that box. And set all that aside. Let's get into the fun stuff. The truck is thoughtfully bubble wrapped. Thoughtfully bubble wrapped? I don't know. Maybe they weren't thinking at all. Hey, I actually like this color. Man. The picture on the box doesn't do this. I don't know. I've always been a fan of this color blue. Yes, I know, Locked Up RC, everything's blue. Got me some stuff. The roof almost looks removable. I think the roof is a second piece, so I guess if you purchased this body and wanted to paint it whatever color, the roof is, can you guys tell? It's like an add-on piece. That may aid durability. Maybe it'll make it worse. I don't know. Whatever. I don't see body clips anywhere. Is it Velcro? It is. Okay, so as opposed to body clips, this is a full Velcro job, which I'd say that was stuck on there pretty well. We've got servo on axle, 4-link front and rear, glue on tires, of course no foam or anything like that. Super teeny tiny shocks. Again, like the other ones, there's no oil or anything in here. This is just all springy sprung. I'm assuming you can see the bouncing. Looks like our battery's already in there. It is mounted in the back. Definitely looks like this could be moved to the front. Plenty of space up here. Everything else is pretty much centered. So this is, motor, transmission, everything in the center. Receiver up front. Looks like, is it Velcroed on? Or did I just bust the tape off by pulling on it? Very possible. It's sticky taped. I just pulled a little hard. Disconnect after use. Okay, that's reasonable. Receiver going to the motor. It looks like there's another plug on there. I don't know what these additional plugs are on the receiver. that the power switch in there? That'd be hard to get to. How easily does this line up? Pretty easily. Pretty easy to get the body back on. Faux spare tire. Oh, you know, while I had the body off, I should have looked, but I guess let's go through some of the basic stuff first. The front bumper, I don't really see any adjustability in the front bumper. I could be wrong, but the front bumper is also so, as I was talking about the roof piece bolts on, the grill bolts on. It is a 3D grill. You know, the body actually looks pretty good. I mean, I don't remember which one was it. The Enduro, I think, that also had the stickered windows, which, hey, I'm not the biggest fan of. I won't lie. It looks like we've got hole. That's what this is. This bag has holes for. Hey, that's pretty cool. So we've got a 3D realistic item that we can add on here. Me and my terrible scissors that I still haven't gotten sharpened. That's what this is. So we've got some little mirrors we can add on. That actually definitely enhance how scale this looks to me. Let's see. So we'll go like this. So I'm guessing we poke this through, which is already a pretty tight fit. There is a backing plate. And of course, I'm doing this and not reading instructions, but you know, sometimes you just guess, is this a little rubber stopper or something? What is it? I don't know if this screws on or presses on. All of these questions and more could probably be answered by me opening the instructions. QR code amendment notice. Amendment notice for, okay. Detailed parts menu, so there's definitely spare parts available. Like the other trucks, I have not scouted the interwebs for spare parts on these yet. I don't, let's see, if we can have anything specific to the body. Yes. Don't really tell you exactly, I mean, they tell you where the mirrors go in, but they just poke in? I mean, that has to be what that backing plate is. Not just, okay, yeah, no, that goes on. I guess you just have to force it on and twist it on. And I'm just being chicken about it. Actually, these look different. No, that's not what that is. Oh, maybe you're supposed to glue. That would make sense too. Okay, so for the mirrors, which, you know, I'm not going to burn up time gluing these on, but actually they go in and they're pretty tight just as is. There is a backing plate that you can put on the inside and glue them on. I don't know what these little gears are. At first I thought they were just some sort of press-on item for the, you know, for the back posts, but clearly there is more. That must be for the motor? I don't know. Spare pinions for the motor? Gotta be. You know, I say it's gotta be. I don't see anything in here telling me what those are for. I assume someone in the comments that already has one of these bad boys will tell me. That is indeed the on-off switch for the receiver. Is down here. Okay, it was hidden by the wires. So, accessible with the body off. But if you've got big meaty hands, man, I don't know. Turning it on, I don't know which way is on or off. Switching it that way is going to be pretty easy with the body off. Pulling this back might not be as easy. I don't know. We'll see. As always, with these trucks, you know, we've already established that the springs are a little bouncy. Let me get this all lined up. Again, it's not really rocket science to get this lined up, but It kind of would be nice if there was some sort of guide, I guess, in the body or whatever to help you line it up just a little bit more straight. Because if I'm going to check for clearance, I want to make sure that I've got the body centered, or as centered as I can get it. So, articulation clearance. Well, I mean, this is definitely going to hit the front bumper. Rocker's okay. So you may want to trim off part of the bumper. Otherwise you're going to get some rubbing. Back seems fine. Lots of clearance in the back. It's just going to be the front bumper when you turn the tire. Not really a whole lot to talk about with the suspension because it's full length front and rear servo on axle. Super tiny servo as always with all of these guys. This does all feel like reinforced nylon. I'm not going to say that the axle housing is the most scale. I don't know if anybody's buying this, you know, planning on going to a scale competition with it. Let's see. Trying to, I mean, obviously with this truck you have a really good departure and approach angle because of the body stock. Unlike some of the other trucks, this is, I do like the lack of a gap between the body and the rocker. It's hidden. I like that. I mean, this almost looks like a boat side slider. I don't know how much these grates on here are going to help. That seems like it would just catch stuff. I'd almost prefer to just see this filled in. The chassis feels pretty smooth. Everything feels pretty slidey. So if you're going to take this out in the rocks, you know, something to consider. Definitely have full compression in the rear without any problems. It's hard to tell in the front with the body on. I mean, like I said, that's going to kind of catch on the front bumper. It's not the end of the world. And, you know, it is what it is, I guess. As far as clearance in the front, it does look like these shocks are completely bottomed out. So I don't really foresee any problems with anything getting hung up in the front. Both the front and rear. Oh, chassis does also appear to be some sort of reinforced nylon. I'm not sure if these squares are intended to mount some sort of alternate bumper or what. Not sure what function these serve. Maybe they have some aftermarket bumpers you can add in. I don't know. We'll have to see. Let me go grab some of the other 24 scale crawlers and we can compare these. For the sake of comparison, I grabbed our Enduro 24 here, and I'm just going to show you guys the underside just so you can see what's going on. Trek width on these is about the same. The MSA has wider tires, but the wheelbase is just about the same. Of course, the approach angle is probably pretty close to the same. The departure angle would be better on the MSA-1E fairly significantly. Again, neither of these have a rear bumper that is attached to the frame. The MSA-1E bumper is only part of the body. Yeah, it's interesting. Whereas the Enduro 24 has a bumper mounted directly to the chassis. Now, one thing I do want to point out is that when I cut the last video scene, my little piece of Velcro actually came off the body. It's still super sticky on the body, so I just stuffed it back on there. But if you do get one of these, you may want to double check, make sure your Velcro is down pretty well. you may want to circle the Velcro with just a little bit of CA glue. Not a big deal. I do like the Velcro mount, but I would really like the Velcro mount if it was like just the front and the rear hinged like the SCX24. Having said that, the frame on this looks a little more, I don't want to call it TVP, but this is almost reminiscent of like a mini Wheelie King to me. Maybe that's just because a Wheelie King was one of the first crawler style. Okay, I know it's a monster truck, but I made it a crawler. Crawler style trucks that I had. So maybe that's why I think of this. Interesting scale detail that they've got little mini reservoirs on the shocks. Again, there's no oil or grease or anything in the shocks. I will be very interested to see how all of these trucks compare in terms of crawling, actual climb angle, rollover angle, that sort of stuff. We are going to take all of these trucks and put them to the test. These axles are pretty beefy looking. The front's really reminding me of a TLT. But again, they're pretty smooth. There are some screws that are hanging down for the knuckles. Could they have made it smaller? Maybe, I don't know. They do have the screws for the C's and the rear lockouts mounted on the very front and the very back, which is nice because they won't get torn up. So I do approve of that decision. Interestingly enough, the shocks are mounted to the C's and the lockouts. I don't think I've seen that on the others, but I'll be honest with you, I haven't looked at all of them. This Enduro 24 has everything mounted to one tab. So we'll see how things hold up over time comparing this to this, because we are going to put all of these trucks through their paces. From a simply scale aesthetic, though, I will tell you, this body is really nice looking, guys. If you're considering getting one of these, even if you've never had a Suzuki Jimny in real life, this is a sharp looking body. It looks nice. I would recommend it. Now, getting it mounted straight, well, that's probably just me being impatient. No, I'm not frequently accused of being patient. I do also think that you could lower the body mounts on this. I mean, there's definitely room on this to lower this body. If you wanted to bring this down a little bit more over these sliders, you probably could even pull the sliders off. I don't know how much benefit they really provide. The chassis right here feels pretty smooth. I feel like that's actually something you could just take off and lower the body, and to me, I think it would make it look a little better. There is a little bit of room for everything to go up, so I wouldn't go crazy lowering the body, but you could do it a little. As far as everything tucking up in the wheel wells, like I said, I think you're okay in the rear. The front, we're just going to have to trim this bumper. I also did want to mention, this truck does not come with any sort of LEDs. Most of the other trucks, if not all, if I remember correctly, have at least front LEDs. Having said that, this bumper, it does look like a crafty DIY kind of person could get in there. Just pull this off again. You see, now the Velcro is sticking to the body, so it may have just not have been attached very well to begin with, but these fog lights in the bumper definitely could get an LED in there. Not a problem. The upper light buckets, on the other hand, well, it appears that this back mounting plate is screwed directly into this, like right in the back. So I'm not sure how easy it would actually be to get functioning lights in these two headlights. Definitely possible for the fog lights. In the rear, well, you've got a little bit more space, so I think you could get something done, but you'd basically be having to cut this out. I mean, same thing up front too. These are stickers, right? These are not lenses. You would be cutting this out to add lights if you wanted to go that route. Just a thought. The spare does look like it just screws on, so if you wanted to pull this to save yourself a little bit of weight in the rear, I mean, let's face it, this doesn't weigh a whole lot. You absolutely could, without a problem. I will also try to figure out if there is something in the instructions about how to permanently mount these mirrors. I don't really want to waste video time reading instructions to you guys. Nobody likes that. The last thing I guess I'll say about this, without test driving these or anything like that, is no matter which one of these 1/24 scale crawlers you get, I think you're going to have a good time with it. Having said that, I did want to touch on this truck specifically. It does come with a nickel metal hydride battery. I believe, someone correct me if I'm wrong, I believe that this is capable of running a LiPo. I'm not sure if there's a jumper or something that has to be inserted in there. I'll have to check the instructions. Either way, this is, I believe, the only truck that comes with nickel metal hydride. If I'm incorrect, I will update something in the description, or I'll put up a big "Patrick is wrong" banner right here, right now. That's pretty much all I have for this truck. Of course, right after I stopped the video, I busted open the instructions and started to read them. You absolutely can run a LiPo on this truck, so that is a good thing. There is a way to set the battery type in the instructions down here on page 5, so thumbs up for that. Also, by reading the instructions, I noticed, hey, that's pretty cool. They actually have a 5-volt output so that you can power FPV. So if you wanted to slap a little camera on top of this thing, or, I mean, there is definitely space inside if you wanted to cut out the windshield or remove the sticker and then remove some of the paint, whatever. I don't know how you do it, but this is, I guess, FPV ready. I don't know. I don't know how you receive signal or any of that stuff. That's a whole nother ball of wax, but kind of neat that they have that on the receiver. Just wanted to mention that to you guys. Well, as I said earlier, I really do like this body. I think they did a pretty good job adding some scale realism between the mirrors, the matte roof, which is actually detachable, I figured out, and the fender flares, rockers, grille, all of that. Now, I never found anything in the instructions about how to mount the mirrors, but I think it's probably self-explanatory using these teeny tiny little brackets that may or may not even show up on the camera, but these are really just little backing plates that you put on there. They don't cinch down or anything like that, so I think we're going to end up gluing those on. We'll see what happens. Really though, the proof or the test for this truck is going to be, what's the value here? Now, it's lacking LED lights. The chassis is some sort of nylon, so I don't know how this is going to compare to the other vehicles. We are going to figure all of that out though when we have our 4-way 1/24 scale shootout. Look for that video coming soon. If you have any comments, please leave them below, and thank you for watching.
If you liked this video, please consider subscribing. Not sure if you want to subscribe yet? Check out one of these videos. Thank you for watching.